Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Haven of Horrors. Sorry, it's been a little while. I had a very busy competition season to do, but now that's over. So we're back. For anyone who hasn't been here for a while, or I guess everyone, because no one has, or for whom it's this first time, I'm Rue. I use they or he pronouns, and I'll be your narrator. This is also a system of my own design. So we'll be hopping into my little universe quite soon. But first, let me let my players introduce themselves. Kestrel, would you like to go first?
Yes. So my name is Kestrel. I use any pronouns except she, her. I'm going to be playing PbtA, who uses they, them, theirs pronouns, and I'll introduce them when we get there.
Ro.
Hi, I'm Ro. I use they, them pronouns, and I'll be playing Alina, who's an old lady who uses she, her pronouns, and is very scary.
And we have a new cast member joining us today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Rena / Percy, and I use he, the, he,
The.
he, she, they, z, the pronouns. I will be portraying Lynx, who uses he, they, it pronouns.
We will meet Lynx shortly, as they have not joined the Institute yet previously. We are missing a couple of players today. Our other players are Quinn and Ari, who will not be joining us today, but we keep them in our thoughts. Ari's character has been consumed by the archive for many months now. Now, this is a horror system, and while I am very careful to avoid my players' lines and veils and make this a safe space for all of us, I want to also make sure it's a safe space for you. The content warnings for this episode include unreality, death, dolls and mannequins, sensory deprivation, and things of that sort. If any of these things are triggering or uncomfortable for you, please take a step back and keep yourself safe today. I would much rather you miss the stream than cause yourself any kind of distress. And also, I believe they're on the overlay now, so you can like reference them if you're thinking like, this episode won't be quite so heavily triggering as normal because we're not doing a case today. We're going to have some vignettes with our characters, but I still wanted to make sure that everyone had a warning of what we might be wandering into. Without further ado, let's head to the Institute. Did you go home, Alina, or did you just stay in the Institute?
I mean, I guess depends on how much time elapsed between the last case and now.
A couple days. Like it's been probably like maybe a little bit less than a week, not quite a week. So maybe if your case was Tuesday, it's Friday, that sort of thing.
Cool. For now I'll sort of quote unquote pretend like everything's fine, which is a weird thing to say considering our line of work. But I will, whenever you think it's best, go talk to the archivist, which I forgot the name.
Damien?
Damien, thanks.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah,
Alina
you can.
is like that grandma that just forgets the name of her grandchildren.
That's fair. Damien, doesn't like always go home from work. Like he goes home from work, I'd say probably like 3 days out of 5. The other 2, like they're really busy and forget to go home. But like he goes home sometimes. So yeah, they're in their office reading, essentially like always. Unless they're on a case with you, Damien doesn't really leave the Institute very often.
Cool. I'll bring him some tea.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I have a few questions that you might be able to answer, Damien. regarding your abilities and by extension the abilities of the others that have the same abilities in the Institute.
Fair. And like he gestures for you to like take a seat. I will do my best. It's not like they give you a handbook necessarily, but ask away.
I noticed that you all seem to be able to know things by willing yourself to know them. Do you actually see, can you actually see something that's happening beyond where you are? Do you have scrying powers, for lack of a better word?
Not passively, so I can't just like sit here and receive visions from beyond. But if I think particularly hard and risk giving myself a horrible migraine later, I can see through other people's eyes.
Interesting.
So if there was something happening somewhere else, I could look through someone's eyes to see it, essentially.
I imagine you can do this while you sleep. Do you sleep?
I was going to say, I sleep rarely these days. It does not come as easily. And usually when I sleep, I experience the cases we've worked as an observer.
You
So
gather any new information while you're doing this?
essentially, so if you can think back at any of the cases we've worked, or even ones that I've read and we haven't necessarily worked, my dreams, if we want to call them that, consist of me sort of watching as those events and circumstances unfold and like experiencing the event from a third perspective.
I'm going to ask you a favor.
Okay.
And you'll have to trust me that it is for a good reason that I'm asking you this. And I understand if you decline, because it is, let's say, a complicated situation.
Okay.
I want you to check and inform me when the director is asleep. Next.
Okay. I can try to do that.
If it's possible.
I've never actively tried looking at the director for particularly long, but I can try.
I know she will know that something is up, but I would like it if she didn't know exactly what.
All right.
Then I'll make my move.
I will let you know if they fall asleep at any point.
Do you have any indication of what we might be facing here? The thing with the city, you know, right?
And like Damien sort of like gestures to not quite the same level of like stringed conspiracy wall that he had up in his house when you went looking for him. But there is like a map of the city on the like one of the walls of the office. And all of the like locations where you've gone to cases are marked, and the ones that you've like quote unquote killed are marked in black, and the ones that you just like took the object or whatever and left the location are in red, and there are like threads connecting them. You can see that like they're trying to build some sort of map.
I look at the thing, trying to gather as much information as I can. As we've established previously, Alina is not an investigator. She's much more of a blunt object. Do you? I have some theories, but again, this has never been much my thing. You know what entities might be involved? There's some cooperation going on, but I don't. The eye is evidently involved. The lonely has something to do with this. The flesh.
I'm willing to bet we haven't heard the last of the desolation, considering they appear to have re-kidnapped their Messiah, whatever she is.
The bury it, considering all the tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
So
about half of them.
Does this leave what? The usual antisocial ones?
Yeah, the ones that don't like to work together. We haven't seen your least favorite person in a while.
Yeah, I imagine the stranger is hard to cooperate with, especially for the eye.
Yeah, we don't like things that we can't see.
We haven't seen any of my kind also, I think.
No. Again, I think you know that your kind, that seems like a rude way to say it, but are usually quite solitary. Working together isn't necessarily what most death followers do.
The hunt, as far as I can tell, has also not been here.
No, I haven't seen any. Well, I haven't read very many reports that suggest anything of that sort.
I'm trying to think to older cases, what things might have been, essentially what things we might have been sent in to kill because they were disruptive.
Which cases were stepping stones? Yeah, yes. Helping as opposed to stopping. I can't tell yet from the map, but I'm working on it.
I trust your intentions, but I will also let you know there are things that I might learn that I will not tell you because of, well,
my
the kind of thing we're
associations.
facing. Yes.
Understandable. I guess I can't fully be trusted, but I don't expect that in our line of work anyway.
It's not a matter of trust, really. It's a matter of how do I explain it? It's a matter of, I guess, the security of the network.
Yeah, just in case someone's listening, right?
Yes. Well, let me know if you see anything promising.
I'll keep you posted. Do you want me to call you if you're not in the office?
I suppose, but I do spend most of my time here.
Don't we all? Thank you again for the tea.
Do you think Blair will come back to the office? I think they might be skittish about it.
I mean, theoretically they have to, but I think maybe you might have scared them a bit.
I have that effect.
I think they will be back, though. She seemed at least kind of interested in what we do here.
I have no doubt that she will be back. I am curious to know if she will keep up the pretense of being in the team. I would much rather, I guess, be able to see her than know she's around but not know where.
Yeah. It's difficult when someone can just disappear at will.
Anyway, we'll talk later.
Yeah, I will see you around. He goes back to sipping his tea and looking at the map. How's Apia doing, Kestrel? Since pulling Alina out of the lonely.
I feel like one of the reasons Apia wants to go to the mannequin room is to feel more connected, because being in the lonely is upsetting to their way of being.
Yeah, it's very disconnected and isolating.
Yeah. So being around other aligned beings, they're hoping will, like magnets, help to realign them.
Yeah. Do you go down and visit the mannequins like fairly often, or is this like your first time back since being there last time?
I feel like AP has gone down there a couple times. They're taking some, like a doll of theirs that needs to be repaired. They're taking that and their sewing kit down there.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean the archival assist, like the researchers who work in the artifact room, they're different like every 2 weeks. Turnover rate's really not good for the archive artifact holders because they touch one thing and it's like, whoopsie daisy. But they don't like stop you or anything. They're used to seeing you. They don't ask anything. They're there if you need help, but they won't like ask anything as you walk to the mannequin room. And they're all like, the mannequins are always in like slightly different positions. Because like, you know, they've been doing stuff. Maybe not while you're here, maybe not while someone else is here, but they've been chilling. The camera that you broke that first time you were here was replaced the second time you were back. Do you break it every time?
Yes.
Cool. I figured you would. I just wanted to check. But yeah, it's a ritual. You walk in, you break the camera on the ceiling, you continue with your day. But yeah, when the moment the camera is broken, there's like a relaxing in the air, because all of these mannequins don't like being watched, don't like the constant like vigilance of the eye. It's not in their nature to be seen and known. They don't like that. And so like there is like, you don't necessarily see movement everywhere, but kind of like everything in the room exhales in relief as the camera is broken again. And like they know it'll be replaced tomorrow or whatever, but it's nice to have a little bit of freedom.
room.
Yeah. And like I feel like you've been here enough times that they've kind of made like a space for you. So like there are pieces of furniture in this room, like kind of like just like discarded like department store furniture. Again, because these are mostly department store mannequins. But there's also like a chair, a desk from IKEA. Like they just kind of like thrown pieces of furniture into this room to be with them. And so there's like a nice little like soft place to sit and like a little workspace, because they know that you are maybe going to come by.
Nice.
Would you like to? Oh yeah, sorry, go.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna ask if you would like to make a power roll to vibe with the mannequins.
Yes, please.
Make a vibe check.
Make a
essentially.
vibe check in the mannequin room.
There it is. Please. Oh, why am I forbidden from accessing my character sheet? There we go. I tried to open it and my a thing just popped up that said forbidden.
Forbidden.
Locks are forbidden. Weather is locked.
We're just really not having the best day for that. Yeah, I got a 7, so we're relatively vibing.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not like the like sometimes when you come in here, it's like tapping a tuning fork and everything is like perfectly in tune and you can just kind of like spread your consciousness out to all the mannequins at once. It's not quite that level of like in tune today, but you can like feel their like gentle vibrations around you and you can like tell that they're happy that you're here, like they're like pleased to see you, but like not the same.
Yeah, it's kind of a situation where you like come home smelling like another dog.
Yeah.
And it takes a little bit for
Takes a
everybody to
little bit.
recognize you again.
Yeah, and like I'm sure for you also, it's like you're still kind of like trying to like rinse off some of that like fogginess of the lonely that you've been feeling. So there's like a little bit of like space between you and them, but you can feel that they're happy to see you.
Cool.
And it's the same. They don't like to necessarily move when you're looking at them, but like while you're stitching or while you're looking away, they'll like creak and move like closer and like lean over to look at what you're doing.
Yeah. I don't think they really talk while they're doing this. They're just kind of, it's not that interesting. They're just kind of vibing together.
Yeah.
The interesting thing would be if anybody else shows up.
Yeah. I mean, like, genuinely, probably because it's part of their rounds, like, an archival assistant will, like, open the door and then, like, see that you're in there and be like, oh, sorry, are you researching right now? I don't want to interrupt or anything.
I don't know. Am I research? Is this research?
Is this research? It's up
Is
to you.
hanging out with your
For
extended
tax
family
purposes.
research?
You're getting paid for your time here, so like.
Kinda.
I just like look over and give a thumbs up.
Okay. If you need anything, let me know. Kind of like looking around, like, because all of the mannequins are like facing you, like even the ones that are not near you are like looking towards you in some way, and like you can tell that this like archive assistant is like, I don't think they were positioned like that.
Not gonna think about it too much.
Not gonna think too hard about that. I'm just gonna close the door.
Very
and like you hear like a creaking sound that like you've heard before, and like again, they don't have mouths, they can't like talk in a way that like people with mouths and like voices can, but they can communicate, and like there's like a creaking and like a shifting of joints that you've heard before a couple of times, and you know is kind of like their like expression of amusement. They're laughing about the fact that this archive assistant is like spooked.
Yeah. Very fun. Yeah, that's basically all we're doing. We're vibing.
Yeah, vibing. Do you want to head back up to the office, or are you gonna just chill down here for the most of the day?
Probably gonna chill down there for most of the day.
Cool. Yeah, you're it gets like, it definitely does get better. Like the like weird isolated feeling you've been feeling since being in the lonely definitely starts to fade away. Like being here was a good choice. It makes you feel more centered
good.
and more at home, and
Cool.
less disconnected. Like when you are not looking, for whatever reason, one of the mannequins will drop like, because some of them are still wearing like store clothes, like department store clothes. One of them will drop like a shirt of a particular like really nice fabric into your lap where the doll is, if you want to use it for making stuff for your doll.
Yeah. Cool.
And like look away when you look up, like they're like, no, that wasn't me. But like very like still, because it's a mannequin. So it's just like they drop it and their hand is still open like this, but they're looking away like.
Definitely. Also, this doll has real human bones in it. I feel like I should telegraph that.
Sweet. That's awesome.
Which bones?
It's a couple. Mind your business.
Gotta know which ones.
They're kind of like cut down so that they're the right size for like doll arms, but it's like a ball joint doll, but with real human bones inside.
Nice. That's really sick. Yeah, you get a lot of like, the vibes are very admiration. Like they really like the bone doll you've built. It's very cool. You're very cool to them
Not
because you
quite
have
taxidermy.
woo. You have like slightly like you have like a lot more like agency than these mannequins do, and so they like are amazed at all the things you can do because you're not trapped in a room at the institute.
Yeah.
Being held hostage by the director upstairs. But yeah.
I feel
It's a
like
good.
part
sorry.
of the reason that I come down here a lot is because it does kind of feel like all of these mannequins are being held hostage in the institute, and I can't exactly like spring them free, but we can vibe together.
Yeah.
Well, I can't set them free without being fired. I need this job.
Just smuggle them out like one by one when the archival assistants aren't looking.
In pieces.
Jesus.
Like one piece of the mannequin at a time.
Just like put it in your pocket. Bonk.
Love it. Love it.
The
Yeah,
torso
like-
is the tricky part.
They've mannequined less people since you started hanging out with them. There have been less archival assistants who walk into the mannequin room as people and walk out as dolls, which is nice. It's pretty good for turnover. They do still meet horrible, unfortunate ends somewhere else, but it's slightly less bad for turnover. As the
That's
capital
good.
assistant of the institute consumes yet another archival assistant fresh out of college.
That is
Rip it,
how
Mr.
it be
Honey.
sometimes.
The applications are always up on those like college web, like if your college gives you access to like a job interface, like my school had Handshake.
Yeah.
Yeah, institute jobs are always on fucking LinkedIn and Handshake.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get those emails that are like, warning, suspicious job link being sent around. Do not apply.
Or like you'll get like those direct robot emails that are like, hi, name from your profile, whether that's your name or not. I'm from the Institute and I think you would be a great fit for our company. But yeah, you have a nice day vibing with the dolls and the mannequins. And
That's good.
your ball jointed doll feels a little bit more substantial than, I mean, the dolls that you make always feel a little bit more substantial and like personified than like a doll you could buy at a store. But this one feels like particularly substantial. It's got some life to it.
Great.
Are you at the point where you can make the little doll army yet? On your character sheet?
No, I haven't gotten enough experience. I have 2 more experience before I can make little dolls.
I was like,
from
I was like, I know
leveling
you're
up.
close to doll army.
I haven't leveled up since like January.
You gotta fail things more often.
Yeah, I do.
You roll too good.
I gotta use my terrible curse dice.
But yeah, so that's how y'all spend that particular day. The end of the week comes around and Blair still hasn't come into the office, or at least you haven't seen them come into the office, which doesn't necessarily mean they haven't been here, since you all know that she can kind of just be here but not really here, that sort of thing. But you haven't seen Blair since Tuesday when you went on your adventure. There is, however, a new person in the office. What can you describe Lynx to us and also tell us, does it get here early? Is he late? Like, what kind of a person are they? Like, how do they get into the Institute?
So if Lynx's starting time is like 9 a.m., then at 8 o'clock they are. Do we know what buildings are around the Institute?
Sort of. So the Institute itself is in like a courtyard. So it's got like an entryway courtyard with like a fountain and some like benches and stuff. And it's one of the like it's not a surviving old building from like the foundational period of the town, but it's like an older building. And then around it, there are like tangential governmental office buildings, so not like the courthouse or anything important, but like you know when there's like the Department of like Creeks, like
Yes.
those little like bureaucratic office buildings that you're kind of like, do we really need these? But like there's 3 old white men who work there and want their pension, so like these buildings are going to be there until they die. Those kinds of offices.
Is it safe to assume that there's like a sort of restaurant or cafe in the vicinity?
Yeah, there's
One of those,
there's a handful of like restaurants and cafes. Yeah.
Yeah, so then he will sit at a table at the like nearest cafe with the best view of the courtyard from like 8 o'clock until like 8:58 and just watch. Just watch. And if you were to catch a glimpse of him as you were walking in, he looks like an anime bodyguard. He's got like spiky blonde hair and he's wearing sunglasses. And he's wearing just like a nicely fitted suit.
Okay.
Whether or
Just
not
the
they're sunglasses.
blockiest head possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely geometric motherfucker.
Cloud stripe, but in a suit.
No, his hair is not as good as Cloud Stripe. I'm thinking like, you know the screenshot of Yu-Gi-Oh where they say there are 2 security guards and they're pointing a gun at somebody and they're like, put it down. But in
They have
in the
just their fingers.
yeah, it's just those guys. That's who Lynx is modeled after.
Understood. They just look like that. Gotcha.
Yeah, they just look like that.
Give me a Give me a thought roll as you just watch
Oh.
people pass.
It's 2d6, yeah?
Yep, 2d6 plus your modifier.
That's a 9. Good
Okay.
job, buddy. He's
Okay,
got a
yeah,
0 to
that's-
thought.
I mean, it could be a negative. You've got a negative somewhere.
I do.
Yeah. You sort of watch. It's like the institute from the outside looks like an office building, like an old-fashioned office building. It's not like one of those sleek tower kind of buildings, but kind of like an older, like turn of the century, like buildings. It's 13 above ground floors, and there are a couple basement floors, but you can't see them from the outside. But like the majority of the institute's employees are like there for normal reasons, trademark. Like they've got like accountants and secretaries and people who do those cold call scripts to get you to donate to the weird spooky institute. And so like a lot of the people that Lynx sees while it's watching are like just kind of like business casual employees who like come in and filter in as they are called. Like 8:30-ish appears to be when most of them arrive, and like filter into the building. The like exception being like you don't see the people who work at in the basement arrive, either because they're already there or they don't get there that early.
Okay.
But you see the like normal office people arrive, and there's quite a few of them. Like you don't see every single employee walk in, but like you can get a rough estimate, probably about 100 people work total at the institute.
All right. 100 people over 13 floors. Oh my god. There's like 4 people per floor.
It's not a big building, but yeah, you're right. I mean, if you think about the fact that Harani is the only person on their floor, it's just one. There's one person on the top floor of that building.
Okay, so 99 people on 12 floors. God.
Yeah. You know, there's like almost 10 people per floor.
My dad worked in an office like that, and oftentimes nobody else was even in the building when he was in there. So it would be completely dark. It was just dark and silent, and it was the old jail, so it was made entirely out of stone. It was terrible. I hated it.
I love that.
That's the vibe. And
Now
like
his office is under the stairs.
oh,
They
is
put
that a good
him
thing or a
under the
bad
stairs.
thing?
He was like the only one who hadn't like gotten a different job or passed away on his floor, so they just were like, hey, would you mind if we remodeled this floor? And he's like, cool, but where am I gonna do my business? And they're like, under the stairs we have a small room and it can be yours.
Okay.
Oh god.
We have
Sorry
a small
about the
room.
tangent.
It
My
can
dad
be
lives
yours.
under the stairs.
Oh no, that's great. I love that.
That's like
A small room.
modern folklore almost, like a creature that lives under the stairs and does
Oh,
like
if you need those
mean, you
receipts looked
could
over, you have to
conceivably-
find the guy under the stairs.
You like conceivably could call my dad a creature. He eats out of the garbage sometimes.
What kind of garbage?
Food garbage.
Oh, that's fine.
Food garbage.
Yeah,
a
like
sort
it's
of
different if you're
accounting
eating out of the
gremlin.
Target garbage.
He's eating out of our garbage usually.
That's
Our
normal.
home garbage.
But my dog does.
Once I threw away an orange because it didn't taste right, and my dad picked it out of the garbage can and ate it. And I was like, why do I still live here?
That's a creature. Some solid creature
One time
qualifications.
my dad was driving in the car with my mom, and I called my mom and I was like, hey mom, how's the drive? And my mom's like, great, except your dad just spit out a tooth. And I'm like, neat.
What?
My dad is a creature.
Did he grow the
Holy
tooth
shit.
back?
I'm really excited to write our next case about your dad.
You will have to be yourself, Castro.
Yeah, for this
Oh,
episode, you
no.
gotta play. You gotta play both PbtA and you
Oh no.
when we come to your house to ask you questions about your dad.
I have a broader lore question. Have all of our cases been fairly local so far?
Yeah, the furthest they've gone
Yeah, I
away is
think-
about an hour. Like the furthest they've gone is about an hour. Most of them have been like centralized in the city.
So we don't have like a Criminal Minds jet.
No, you don't have a jet
I don't
plane.
think we have that budget.
Like you're like the institute's pretty well funded. You've got a credit card that y'all bought $5,000 worth of art on, and no one asked you any questions.
Wow.
But like not private jet level funded. If you want to go
Damn.
somewhere further away, you got to get on a regular airplane.
Damn. Can't believe we're less funded than the FBI.
We're
That's
very
not
much
hard.
less funded than the FBI.
we don't have guns, so the government doesn't give us money.
You don't have guns.
You see. Yeah, it would be a bad idea to give Damien a gun, just in general.
We don't need a gun. We have Alina.
We do have Alina. She's just a gun.
I am the gun.
Maybe the
I see you
real
didn't bring a
was the
gun to
friends
this
we
fight.
made along the way.
We don't have our meat person anymore because I feel like in under the wrong circumstances, Maria also could have essentially been a gun.
I miss Maria emotionally every day.
I think Maria would have eventually been able to like shoot teeth out of her finger. Terrifying
I don't think
thought.
out of her finger. I think as
out
a,
of
as
the
a
out of the
human
wrist.
as a human avatar of the flesh, you go like this, and then
Right.
that's where they come out. It's like you're spitballing.
But
Just like shoot
Maria
your
is free now.
nails.
Yeah.
So
I love her and miss her every day. So yeah,
Yeah.
Lynx will down its cup of hot black coffee like in just one gulp.
I would like to ask, when did Lynx order that cup of coffee?
Oh, this is at the beginning of the hour.
Okay.
This is a power move, like to the people in the cafe, like getting their breakfast before they go to work.
Okay,
Lynx-
I was like, it's not still hot after 58 minutes.
No. Lynx goes up to the counter and is like, small black coffee, and like is handed it immediately. And then just like walks to the table, sits down, tips it back, and then just like holds the empty cup for the rest of the 57 minutes.
Cool. Yep. No one asks you to leave. You bought a coffee, so they're like, whatever.
Yeah.
The employees
I
don't
think-
have the like.
I think it's very funny that currently the most normal person working at the institute is Alina. That's hilarious.
What? You guys don't drink small black coffees all in one gulp? I don't understand.
Apia drinks several coffees every day, but almost all of them are cold.
API just pulls them out of new pockets every time. It's very exciting.
I love that for them.
But yeah, you can down your coffee and watch your people for an hour.
Yeah, at 8:58, he'll walk over and like adjust his tie that doesn't need adjusting, and like walk up to. Do we have like a secretary, a front desk, or?
So they're like, if you're walking into the like lobby, like the main floor lobby,
Mhm.
yeah, there is like a reception desk.
Okay.
Because the main floor lobby of this place, have you ever seen in like TV shows where like when they're in an old building in New York and there's like the like bottom floor where there's like the cute little reception desk with like an office behind it with glass windows and you can like see the office behind the receptionist, and there's kind of like almost a like cage sort of deal
Oh my God.
happening.
They're caged.
Like one of those, like that's the architectural vibe of the lobby.
Okay.
Give me another thought roll.
That's a 5.
Never mind. We can mark experience though.
Yeah. Forgot I
Nothing.
could do that.
You don't notice anything interesting.
Mhm.
Yep. I approach and I'm like, today is my first day.
Oh, in what department?
God, what is the
I
name of
was
our
not
department?
told.
Jesus fuck. What if God's
the,
name is the name of
Basement
our department?
B.
the archive is the technical name for your department.
Do I know that I'm working in the archive?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, I don't know if they told me.
Yeah, I told you.
What department? I forgot.
I'm starting in the archive.
Oh, yeah. You're gonna want to take either the stairs or the elevator down to the basement level.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. The archivist should be down there. He usually is. That's who you'll be working with.
Okay. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Gonna walk to the stairs. And are they like closed stairs? Like the door closes behind him?
Door closes behind you. Yeah.
Okay. So they can just like sprint down the stairs to the basement.
I guess they can.
Have you ever been in a stairwell and like heard somebody running on a different level of the stairwell, but you can't see them?
Yes, I don't like it.
In
Yeah.
fancy boy business shoes?
Are they the ones with like the metal tips?
No, no,
Okay, they don't go clink.
no. That's not practical. But yeah, he'll just emerge from the
Storewell.
stairwell door and start to go look for the archivist TM.
When you get into the archive, because so you've walked into the basement, the first basement. There are sub basements. You see that the staircase continues down, and so does the elevator. But the basement that you are in is kind of like a library basement sort of deal. There's like an entry area with like desks. And then there are like offices and a conference room. And there are 6, yeah, there are 6 desks in the like main area. 4 of which are like occupied, but 3 of them have more stuff on them. Blair's desk doesn't really have very many personal effects on it, but you can tell that like someone is sitting there. And then 2 like empty desks. And then there is an office with a nameplate that says Damien Sinclair, head archivist, up against the wall. And like then there is a conference room over to the side. It's 9 a.m. Are Apia and Alina at the Institute?
APIA is always a little late. That's kind of their brand.
Yep.
Unless Alina's doing something, I guess, yes.
Lena's always there.
She has no sense of having to be there, like punctuality and stuff. It's not like she cares about that. So she will sometimes not be there because she's doing something, but if she doesn't have anything to do, she will be there. Essentially.
Got it.
I guess I will go knock on Damien's door then and it's very much like a 1-2 and then a step back and like solid posture, like waiting.
You can just come in. It's unlocked.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning. And Damien gets up from behind their desk and like walks over and like puts a hand out. You must be our new employee?
Yes, links.
Lynx.
Handshake, 1-2, let go.
I'm Damien. I'm the head archivist. Out in the lobby, you probably saw Alina, an older woman. She's one of your coworkers. The other two may not be here yet. One of our employees is feeling a little bit ill, so Blair might not be in at all. APA should be in later today, though. And Vivian is here. She's just somewhere.
All right. What assignments should I begin?
I think a good assignment to start off with would be familiarizing yourself with the space. We have a fairly unusual arrangement here. Here in the first level, you will find sort of our current and active cases. And like they point to the wall where the map is, and then also like their desk, which is covered in paper. I sort through these to find real cases as opposed to either false reports or reports that aren't necessarily impactful enough for us to deal with. And then we work together to solve those cases if we can, and add them to our sort of expanding understanding of what's going on here. Downstairs, one level, you will find the stacks, which is our backlog of every case we have had since this place's founding in the late 1800s. And past that, in the bottom level, you will find artifact storage. I would be careful stepping in there without proper precautions.
Understood.
We could also say hi to your coworkers.
Understood.
And we're not very strict around here, if you're worried about that sort of thing.
I understand. Thank you. And then they will turn and walk away and start like going through the stacks, just like walking through them, literally familiarizing itself with the space.
Okay. You're just gonna wander are you like going down to the stacks just to wander?
Yes, it's a very complex mapping system that they have, where they are like counting their steps as they walk up and down each of the rows and like creating like a mental map and like different locations within the archive.
I'm sure it's a nightmare because none of the like rows in the stacks are the same length because they just kind of drop cubic foot boxes wherever.
That's fine.
So
Life's about randomness.
It's not like even nice rows.
The forests are not in nice rows. But yeah.
Ominous.
Love that. The forests aren't in nice rows indeed. But yeah. Welcome to the Institute. Your coworkers are around, but if you're gonna trip around for a bit, we might take a quick break here and then come back in about 10 minutes so you can all introduce yourselves properly.
Excellent.
Right.
Cool. We'll see you back here in about 10 minutes.
Bye.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Haven of Horrors. We had a little bit of some introspective time earlier before the break, and we're going to have a little bit more of that for the second half of this as well, because this is more of a like personal vignettes episode. But I think it's time for our current archival assistants to meet their new coworker. So probably, how long would you say it takes Lynx to map the stacks? Like how long are they wandering around down there?
Depends on how big the space is.
Probably like a 30 by 40 room. It's like the whole basement, like it is that whole basement floor. So like a 30 by 40 foot room.
It's not long. Maybe like 20 minutes total.
Okay. Do they go down the further level to the artifact storage or no?
They will, but I presume that they're gonna bump into their coworkers first. And their plan was
Actually might
just
bump into Apia in the archives if you're all the way down there. They're usually with mannequins.
But yeah, because his plan was just to introduce himself as he ran into people, because it's more natural.
No, welcome to the office parties for Lynx.
No.
It's actually impossible to have welcome to the office parties because Harani hires new employees and doesn't tell anyone else about it. So literally anyone could walk into the office at any point and be like, I'm your new archival assistant. And Jamie would be like, okay, cool, pick a desk.
There's only two.
There's only two right now, I think. But yeah, so ooh, sorry, crunchy. Ooh. Yeah, if you're like making your way down, you probably would cross paths with Apia. So Apia, you just see this like tall motherfucker. Is Lynx tall? Yeah.
How tall? This is important.
Oh, that's true, because Apia is also tall.
Probably like 6'2".
I'm still the tallest. Apia's like 7'3".
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that's yeah, that makes sense.
Apia's taller than a person should be.
I love that for them. Sorry, I just noticed that I'm now wearing lipstick.
Did you not
continuity error?
Wait, what?
Did you
Was
not
that
mean
a
to put it on?
continuity error, or were you wearing lipstick before?
I got it from this can.
It's because because the black that I'm wearing is not a matte, it's a creme, so it transfers. Congrats, you got free lipstick. But yeah, so a tall for average, but not nearly as tall as Apia person in a neatly pressed, finely tailored suit and still wearing the sunglasses inside. Yeah.
Yes.
It is just like on its way down from the like stacks to the artifact storage as you are on your way up from artifact storage.
So what Apia looks like, for those who don't remember, and for the benefit of just storytelling, Apia is about 7 feet tall, 7'3", a little over 7 feet. Very thin, like kind of unnaturally willowy. Their face is very gaunt. They have a couple scars on their face. They're very pale, like almost to the point where they look like kind of concerning. They're wearing a lot of layers, but the outer one is a trench coat. They have kind of wild black hair. And they move kind of weird.
I have a strange question.
Yeah.
How do they smell?
Like your house. But not quite. like the smell after you come back from vacation.
I was
And
just
it's-
about to ask if that was it. I'm so glad we were on that same wavelength. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, well, if it is coming down the stairs and Apia is coming up, they will be about face to face because there's like a
Yeah.
2-step difference.
Yeah.
Lynx will just stick out.
Both me, the human, and Damien, the archivist, have to be on a stool if we want to look Apia in the eye.
Yeah, Lynx will just stick out his hand and say, Lynx, archival assistant.
Apia like kind of takes your hand like a little suspiciously. They don't shake hands with people very often. They're very cold.
It take 1, 2, let go.
They like kind of look at you, look at what you're wearing, look at your sunglasses. Are you a cop?
No.
They look at you like they don't really believe you, but their second question is, did Harani think we need a bodyguard?
No.
If you're a cop, you have to tell me or else it's entrapment.
I really thought somebody was gonna say it.
Have you ever been a cop?
Have you
No.
ever been a cop? Will you ever become a cop?
No, cops hate me.
Apia pulls a coffee cup out of their trench coat. It looks cold.
Slurp.
I also drink coffee.
Apia just kind of looks at you. What are you heading down to the archive for?
I'm familiarizing myself with the space. The head archivist instructed me to.
Well, try not to get eaten by anything in there. And if you go
I
into the
won't.
mannequin room, don't.
Okay. I understand.
Apia just like kind of washes you and then goes around you up the stairs.
It is like very obvious as they continue walking down that Lynx is like counting the steps, and like you can see like looking around and almost like physically measuring the space with his eyes.
Do you would you like to know how many stairs it is down from the stacks to the
I would love to know. I would love to know how many stairs, the approximate height of each stair, and the location of all the fire exits.
none.
I'm gonna need a detailed map, King. Sorry.
There's no fire exits in this place. If it burns down, you're fucked. It's 17 stairs from the stacks to the archival like artifact storage, and each stair is about like 6.5 inches.
This place is hell.
There is an elevator. Like you don't have to take the stairs.
I'm aware.
Are all the steps the same height?
Like down here, yeah. So like the steps down to the archive and then down to the stacks and then down to artifact storage are all the same. The ones in the building have a little bit of variance because like in the lobby, there's like one of those like fancy kind of like marble staircases with smaller stairs. And then there's like standard industrial stairs to get up the rest of the floors if you're not taking the elevator.
Fancy. The stair to my apartment, all the steps are different heights.
I hate
It's
that for you.
horrible.
Yeah, I hate
that's
that
kind
for
of
you.
upsetting.
I'm so sorry.
It's a
Like walking
tripping
down
hazard.
regular stairs gives me so much anxiety and makes every joint in my body hurt. I cannot imagine that.
Yeah, that's how it's like stairs at like hotels can sometimes be like that, where like the architect and the person putting the building together disagreed on how far apart the stairs should be, so they just kind of put the stairs wherever the fuck they felt like it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Anyway.
that's what the stairs are like down here. The like artifact storage is the best lit room in the basement. It's lit by like very clinical like fluorescent lighting, and it is a fairly bare room like in terms of decoration, because everything is like on like these like metal and glass shelves, and some of them are behind glass boxes and some of them aren't, just like rows on rows of artifacts. And there's like a like maybe 22, 23-year-old like person behind the like desk, who looks very fresh and also like is actively reading like a handwritten handbook. It doesn't look like an official handbook, like they weren't given a handbook when they were hired. This has like a bunch of different handwritings in it, like it's been passed down from research aid to research aid, and they're like reading it and they like look up as you get past and they're like, do you work here?
Yes.
Okay. And then just he goes back to reading.
Can I see what's in the book as I like pass by?
Yeah. Make me just like a straight roll, like just roll some dice for me, because it's not really a thought roll. You're like seeing how well you can look. I didn't. Oh, a 4?
I rolled a 4.
Mark experience. No. You like lean over the desk to try to get a look at the book, and the person like sort of like leans back into themselves and like pulls the book up to their chest, like a little like confused.
I will just nod and keep going. Circling my way down. I will not go into the mannequin room, but I will. Is there like, can I look into it? Like, is there a window in the door?
Yeah, kind of like classroom style, where it's got like one of those like little windows.
All right. Yeah, I'll look in and I will count the tiles and like mentally map the room without physically going in as best
There's
I can.
there's like somewhere between like 15 and 20 mannequins in there. Some of them are missing limbs, some of them are like dressed, some of them aren't.
Are any of them actively looking at me?
They're looking at the door. You can't quite tell if they're looking at you or if they're just like pointed towards the door.
Okay. I'll keep going.
There's a lot down here.
Yeah, I'll finish up down here and then I'll make my way back upstairs so that I can presumably meet Alina.
Yeah. Yeah, this room is comparable in size. It's about the same size as the one above it. It's just all full of objects on shelves instead of boxes on boxes of files.
Yeah. So I'll come back up. Unless Apia and Alina want to have a conversation first.
Not really. We see each other a lot.
A nod across the office space.
Yeah.
And then Lynx
Very
just
good
emerges
friends.
from the stairs.
Yeah, then there's just a new person coming up the stairs.
Okay. Alina is sitting at her desk, drinking some tea and taking notes in shorthand.
Is she taking them physically
That's
or on her iPad?
No, physically. That's something old people can do.
Yeah, everybody learns stenotype, right? Lynx is not going to bother her because she looks busy. So he is going to go around to each of the unoccupied desks and like make sure, like see which ones are occupied again, and then just like pick an empty one and sit down.
Yeah. The desks that are occupied, there's one that's like very decorated and like cute core goth. Like Vivian's desk is like covered in like those cute little like those little figurines of like the like goth Sanrio characters, and like things like that. There's like a big hat like on the desk, like very clearly lived in. Apia's desk doesn't have a computer on it. There is no technology on Apia's desk. I assume there are several coffee cups though, just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's just a bunch of coffee cups on Apia's desk. No technology, no iPad, no computer.
I was imagining like a pile of trash over it.
Probably.
Some
about right.
bones. Some things that you've taken from cases and cops.
Mhm.
What does Alina's desk look like?
It's very plain. It's clearly used. It has the ye olde phone that she uses.
It does have the ye olde phone.
The rotary phone. But it has like notes and things. It's very organized, but not necessarily in an obsessive way. And it has her iPad, I guess, like to the side. And it's fastidious. One thing that it is kind of obsessive about, it's the cleanliness of it. It's very clean, but it's also clearly used.
Okay.
And Blair's desk is like, there is like a notebook on the desk and like an unused
ashtray.
Yeah, like an ashtray, but with no with nothing in it. But that's like the only things on it. There's like no identifying like she has not decorated her desk. They don't have pictures up or anything. There's just a notebook and an ashtray. And then the other two desks are like just like basic cubicle desks unoccupied.
Yeah, Lynx will just sit down at one of them, hands folded on the table, just kind of waiting.
Alina, without looking, will say, I think that one still has some honey on it. So be careful about that.
I will look. Does it have honey on it?
On it? Not on
In
the
it?
desk.
Inside of it.
Yeah, if you open the drawer, there are little jars of honey. Yeah.
Oh, they're in jars. Okay. I thought they were just gonna be like, it was just gonna be a drawer filled with honey.
Property that
It
just falls
The
out.
floor. Yeah, it just like glorps out onto the floor. No, there's like a couple of jars of honey in the like lower drawer of the desk.
Just nod and close it back. All right, fair enough. Maybe they're necessary. I don't know.
Are you going to be working with us in the future? She says, not lifting her eyes from her note taking.
Yes.
She will then look up and she says, I am Alina.
I am Lynx. He can't like reach his hand out to shake from this distance, but he will like nod.
Pleased to meet you. Do you like tea?
Yes.
I often make it for whoever's around who wants it.
Understood. Thank you.
How do you like your tea? Just so I can make a mental note of it.
Hot.
Plain or
Yes.
with anything?
I just like hot water, actually. I would like to just be handed a cup of boiling water.
You have no idea how much Lynx loves hot drinks.
Alina will then say, this might sound strange, but you do not look like the typical employee we have here.
Is there a typical look for your employees here?
The opposite, rather. You look like an office worker. We do field work here.
Understood.
Very well. Do you need any guidance on what we do here, or?
I have completed my assignments of familiarizing myself with the archive and introducing myself to my coworkers.
Right. Very well. Good meeting you, Lynx. Goes
Good
back
meeting.
to her notes.
From the office, like Damien like pokes his head out and is like, you are allowed to do other things. Please don't think you can only do things you're instructed to do. If we worked like that, we would never get anything done because I don't have instructions ever.
What do you need me to work on next?
Nothing.
He's just going to sit back at his desk, hands folded.
I currently have no projects for you.
Head archivist said nothing. I'm gonna do nothing.
It might be practical if you were to get some work done on your will. You know, as in last will and testament.
We have a lawyer on staff upstairs if you're interested.
No.
Fair enough. Is Lynx just gonna sit there?
Yeah, until somebody gives him something to do.
Damien
Apia,
is
like,
the least
comes in.
hands-on boss ever.
Alina will probably take up the chance to whatever bullshit she needs, just asking Lynx then.
that's a great use of them.
You clean the dishes in the little like
Yeah.
kitchenette.
Yeah.
Yeah, he will. You just have to tell him something needs to get done.
Alina running things in her head, like what kind of creature is this man?
A cop. You said, yeah, sorry, Kestrel. You said Apia was coming in.
Yeah, I think they're going to like come in and drop just a big pile of straw on their desk.
Like hay? Like just like straw?
Yeah, they're doing stuff with it.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if you had said straw or straws.
I mean, realistically, they have both.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Up for a little snack later, I guess.
Crunch, 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 crunch.
I'm gonna munch. I'm gonna crunch.
Shoving
I
hay
think-
into my mouth.
I think after about an hour of like just straight sitting, if nobody gives Lynx anything to do, he will kind of relax a little and pull out one of the jars of honey and just kind of like I assume they're like the little ones, yeah, like the little gift sized
Yeah.
ones.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
like the sample sized ones you can get at the like farmers market.
Yeah. And just starts like sliding it back and forth between his hands, like on the desk. Yeah.
This noise. I have a glass jar right next to me. Well, you can't. There we go.
Oh, so he's a child. I see.
A baby cop.
Right.
Please be nice to my poor little meow meow.
Yeah, it's also a cat boy, isn't it?
Yes, I did almost say paws when I said hands. In case you were wondering what kind of cat boy.
Lena will think to herself, the weirdos that work here, and then she will take a nap sitting with her eyes open.
What does Alina smell like?
Like an old person, but like with an extra layer of some hard to describe thing. She also smells dry.
What does Damien smell like?
Damien smells like musty old books, but also like with an undertone of like mint tea. Because
I'm sorry, no. Alina smells like Earl Grey because she just sweats it at this point.
Damien does the same, but with mint tea.
Right.
Excellent.
So yeah, like musty old books and mint tea.
These are normal smells. Kestrel does not have a normal smell.
Do you mean Apia?
I mean Apia! I'm so sorry, Kestrel! I'm so used to looking over at like Zoom names and them being the character names. Because that's how we do it for any of the like Jasper's games. I'm sure you have a wonderfully normal smell, Kestrel.
I can't smell
Oh,
things
that's
like
making
in,
it better.
I can't smell things in human life, so I have no sense of smell. But yeah, sounds like you all have a really normal day at the office. Extremely normal.
Extremely
Yeah.
average.
Really
nothing
casual.
nothing of interest happens at the office because Damien's reading through cases trying to find fun ones. And like the only exciting thing that happens is when Damien will come out holding like one piece of paper and be like, do you want to read this really bad short story someone wrote and tried to submit as a case? And then we'll just hand it around. And
After
this
having
is the most exciting thing that happens all day.
after having read the short story, Link starts shredding the paper, just like stir it, stir it, stir it.
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Why are you just ripping it?
I like it.
Okay. Please don't do that with any of my old documents. They're not replaceable.
Understood.
He goes back into the office a little bit concerned.
Link is making little crumbly paper balls and just
Batting them,
annoying.
I see.
Full on cat boy.
Understood. He's just a cat boy.
He's having a good time.
Alina, did you want to go and do something?
I was waiting for Damien to tell me that Harani was.
Oh, okay. Asleep. I wasn't sure if you wanted
disabled.
those to be two separate things or not. Okay.
Uh, when she turns off for her software update.
Software update. When the director needs to reboot and it's going to take a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, like probably like, oh, an important question. Does Lynx go home or does Lynx stay at the Institute?
Was Lynx told what hours he would be working?
No.
He's just gonna stay there for a while.
And like
Curls up in his desk and purrs.
and it should be noted that like Damien doesn't like at any point, like 5 o'clock comes around and Damien does not pack up. Damien does not make an indication that it's the end of the workday. They have been here since before you got here and they have shown no signs of leaving. And I think sometimes APia stays, but not always, right?
Yeah, around 9 p.m. APia leaves.
And
that is when
Alina-
Lynx will go too, then.
Cool. This is the leaving time. Understood. And Alina's gonna hang out, I assume, and take her power naps in the lobby.
She sleeps for a few hours, about 5 times a day. Irregular.
She's like a cat.
Kind of. Yes.
2 of them.
Different kinds of cat people. But yeah, like at like 2 o'clock in the morning, Damien will like come outside of the office and just kind of like gently like rap on your desk.
We'll wake up and look up.
And like, it's 2 a.m. Damien probably hasn't slept for like 2 days. So like they look a little bit like wired. But he'll just sort of like lean in and say, you asked me to keep an eye on something for you and let you know.
Yes.
Now would be a good time for whatever it is you need to do.
No. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I'll be
You
in the
should
office.
Probably rest. You look tired.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe I will.
We'll go down to the artifact storage place, section, floor, basement.
Yeah, the basement. Yeah, the third basement, the furthest down basement.
I thought the furthest down basement was the heart room.
Oh, yeah, that's technically the furthest down basement, but it's not accessible unless you know how to get there.
Right.
So it wouldn't have been somewhere on Lynx's tour because it wouldn't know how to get there.
That's
Right.
true.
Cool.
But yeah, the lowest accessible basement is the artifact storage.
Very well. Is there anyone there?
There is like you don't see them necessarily, but you can hear someone in the back of the room kind of like walking toward, like probably going to get something that they've been asked to look at. There always is at least one research assistant like posted here, mostly in case something tries to escape or whatever, like SCP containment breach style. But they're probably just kind of like wandering around, like checking off that things are here, essentially.
Cool. So if I haven't been noticed, then I will go to the room. I remember it was sort of put in its own room, containing its own room, the
Yes.
disk of darkness, the circle of oblivion.
It's just a circle. Yep, it's there. It's just chilling.
I will close my eyes and enter I will close my eyes as I'm going in that direction. I will not have them open most of the time when I'm here.
Okay, so you're
I will
walking
enter the
into the
arcana
room
map.
with your eyes closed.
Yeah. And I will approach the objects and I will open whatever restraint. I remember that originally it had sort of like a cloth over it, but I imagine they put it in a sort of container box.
Yeah, so it's behind, like it's in a glass box, and it is still covered by cloth. So like there's a little glass box and then a cloth covering that you can see the outline of the disc in.
Very well. I will take it out and I will, as Maria used to do, I will put my hands all over the thing.
I'm touching the thing with my bare hands.
This is for you,
All right.
Maria.
This is for you, Maria. I'm touching the fucking thing.
I'm touching the spooky.
Yes.
Okay.
And I would like to sort of commune with it. I
Okay.
suppose my astral projection power can sort of help to get in there, get inside of it.
So before we start, make me a power roll.
I'm really good at this one.
You are really good at this one.
That's 14.
14. All right. You sort of like touch this thing, and your eyes are already closed, right? You said?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So if your eyes had been open, like your like vision would have faded to the same black, but your eyes are already closed, so it's not that big of a difference. But as you touch it, you feel that sort of same sensory deprivation sensation as you were feeling in the theater kind of wash over you and like crawl up your arm from where you're touching the disc. But you can sort of like, there's like an ebb and a flow, and you can push back against that a little bit and sort of like make contact with this like absolute darkness that echoes in a way like it is dark and empty and black and like unfathomable, but it is also kind of like gently like ebbing and flowing as well, and you can feel that sort of movement and motion.
I will call out to Father Alistair, was the name?
Yes, Alistair was his name. Yeah. There's
because
like,
I know he's not dead.
He's not dead. Yes, you know he's not dead. And you sort of like call out into this blackness, this emptiness. And that same ripple effect occurs where like, it's not like you can't like hear yourself echoing, but it's kind of that sort of same sensation. And then the like cold, unfeeling sensation sort of like washes over you more fully, as if like someone has sort of like stepped through you. Like you felt people walk through you when you're in your astral projection form. It feels very similar, like a rush of cold has sort of like washed over you.
I will try to make some sort of mental contact, or I will call out again, saying that, again, sort of calling to Father Alistair and making my intentions clear that I want to talk, essentially.
Make me whatever is better, a thought or a tact roll.
Tact.
Okay.
Worse tact, but no, I have. That's a 12.
Oh, okay. Yeah, your statement is believable. What like I assume you're not lying, but even if
No.
you were, your statement is believable.
I
And
have
like,
no ill intention.
yeah, you have no ill intent, and this like darkness understands that. And it's not as if like Alistair appears before you, because he doesn't. Like he's not physically extant necessarily. But there is like a shift in like the shadow that you are engulfed in. And like you can see like almost a figure, almost a face, in the like
Remember that I can.
unfathomable darkness. You don't need to see things. Yeah.
Right. I have like a touch with.
Yeah.
I have essentially used my previous experience with the darkness to.
Yeah. You have like
Sort of
blind
connect
sight
with-
essentially.
Right.
But like this is less like you can't see him and more like he's not physical. Like he has just sort of like come out of and emerged from the shadow.
Right. So that I might have obliterated his earthly body when I sort of fought him.
Yeah. You kind of like severed that like physical connection, and he used every like last bit of his connection to the dark to like save himself inside of this glass disc. But he does not have a physical body to inhabit. He might want one, but he doesn't have one.
How have you been, Alistair?
I don't remember what Alistair sounded like, so we're gonna make a whole new voice for this bitch. I hope you're ready.
Cool.
It's been 16 episodes, I think, since we talked to Alistair.
Something like that, yes.
It's been at least a year, I think, since we've talked to Alistair.
I think it was very dramatic, but also not as cackly as other.
Yeah. Not Laura level.
He was of all the sort of cultists that we've fought, I think he was the one that Alina tolerated the most. So
tolerable on a scale.
Yeah, that factored into the choice of looking for him.
As good as someone in my position can be doing, I suppose.
Well, I've been busy, but I thought it was a good time to sort of see how your imprisonment was treating you.
It's imprisonment. It's treating me fine. The lights are always on here.
I have a question for you, a few questions, if you would be inclined to answer.
I might be.
Do you know anything about and I forgot, but Alina would know, what's the name of the family that made the city?
Oh, 1 second. I have notes. I've also forgotten.
What are the name of the main antagonists of this story?
The antagonists of the story that I've also forgotten the names of. Woo, I'm good. I should have had those notes pulled up. I'm very sorry.
That's
the
okay.
bad guy.
We have to relearn it all so that we can teach links. So it works.
Right.
The bad guy trademark.
Do you know who the bad guy of the story is? I'm lost.
Hey, do you know who the bad
Asking
guy
that.
is? I would like to know where the bad guy is. Is it in here? It should be. Yes. Crane. That's their name. Yeah. Rupert Crane.
Do you know anything about the Crane family, more specifically Rupert Crane and their relationship to the Institute?
Well, The Crane family, from what I understand, built this place, no?
Yes.
I know that this place, specifically the Institute, sits where their old manor used to sit. It was very prime real estate, from what I understand. We all want good spaces for our work. The theater was good for mine.
Shame about that.
Shame indeed.
Do you know why they sent us there?
Do I know why your all-seeing eye sent you somewhere? No.
I mean, what were you doing specifically that might have been disruptive to their plans?
I don't know other people's plans. That's not my realm necessarily. All I am concerned with is this. And like when they say the word this, the shadow like fluxes with
I
their
see why
voice.
you were. I see why you were outmaneuvered. You're not very imaginative, not very clever at playing the game, I guess.
Roasted.
We are one of the
Um,
oldest groups. We have been around a lot longer, except perhaps a couple. And like a very like respectable nod. Those of us like yours, like mine, we don't need to be innovative. There will always be someone afraid of the dark.
True. I I will admit, I'm not here to insult you. I myself, despite my age, I'm relatively new to trying to actively, as I said, play the game.
Mm.
And I'm here to offer you something that you might find interesting.
Well, I'm listening, though again, I'm not sure what exactly can be offered to me in my current state.
Well, I guess the only thing that you might want, leave this place.
Mm. It would be nice to no longer be watched.
And that is what I need from you. Your ability to remain unseen, your ability to, well, I was going to say to watch without being watched, but let's talk plainly. I am in need of a spy.
Well, quite easy to spy from the shadows. They're hard to see into.
The people I want you to spy on are quite good at seeing, as you might imagine. Are you up to that task?
I'm intrigued. What exactly is it you would want watched?
There's two people specifically, but if you have initiative, that might be better. I am willing to keep these objects safe, and on the completion of your task, I would even be willing to deposit the subject wherever you would find it useful.
I would like it returned.
Essentially, I can take the disc outside of the institute, and once I have the information I need, I can do whatever you want with it. But for now, I will keep it as insurance. But I'm sure your influence extends beyond the disc if I remove it from here. Am I correct?
You are not incorrect. Yes, outside of this garishly lit box, I could do a lot more and reach a lot more people. People
I could put
who
you in a suitably dark environment.
people who can do what you need done. You may be right about our lack of innovation, but you must admit we are widespread. There are many of us.
Yes. I need to know what the Institute is planning, what the designs of the cranes are building up to, and if possible, a way to stop it, should whatever that is prove untoward.
Well, I will do my best. I don't obviously guarantee perfect answers to all of your questions. But if it means getting out of here, I can make a deal with the devil.
You would wish. Anyway.
So the director and the other pieces on the board?
Exactly. I want
All
to
of them?
watch as many as you can find.
Some of them are difficult to find, but not all of them.
I trust that you will be properly motivated.
Indeed, it has been too long in this box for me.
Very well. Touch them close. Tell me what you see. Above all, and I don't think this needs to be said, but avoid being seen.
Oh, if possible, I would like to never be seen. You can't quite like see him again. That's not how this works. But there is like a smirk in his tone, so to speak. And there's a moment he's like, if by any chance you can manage to engineer a blackout, I could get you all your answers very quickly.
I'll see to it. For now, I will take you outside of here.
My thanks.
No need to thank me, just do what you are asked. And I will cover the disc again.
Yep. Once it's covered, sort of like all of the sensation of the world comes back to you, and you are in that room, and you can feel yourself, and you can see, and you can hear.
And I will, actually, I will cover it in a different cloth similar to this one that I've brought
With you.
And I will leave a disc of similar dimension in its place.
Got it. You've Indiana Jones
Exactly,
the
yeah.
box. Okay.
That was essentially my plan. I didn't mention it earlier, but I Yeah, that was the idea.
Yeah, I believe you that
Uh,
Alina brought a cloth and a disc.
And Alina was the only one to touch the disc, so she would be the only one to know the rough dimensions of it. So,
Yeah,
or I guess anyone who have inspected it since then. But
most of those people have wound up eaten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I
Wait.
will take the disc, and he will now live in Alina's house.
Gonna go put it in a nice dark corner of the house.
Alina barely lives there, so she will just have it covered, but there, and the room will be dark. So I don't want him to be too free to do whatever he wants.
Yeah,
I
that's
will still
reasonable.
have it. I will still have the objects essentially under lock and key,
Yeah.
but not illuminated so that he can do stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that will be the thing. And
Sounds good.
Yeah. Hopefully,
So yeah.
it will take some time for the director to realize what I've done.
Well, they are asleep right now, so at least you've got that much going for you. They're not actively watching their 100 screens all the time.
Cool.
Yeah. You can keep it in your desk. You like the room you keep it in your house is darker than normal, and occasionally you will see the shadows like shift a little bit, which you can assume is him communicating with the other like dark people that all of his cult members are still like out there just waiting for his return essentially. And so now that he is able to communicate with them, he's making contact so that they can do what you've asked to get him what he wants, which is the fuck out of here. So they can get him a body.
I will also keep a hammer handy nearby.
Just in
Hang
case.
it
I need
above
to
so that way you
smash the
just cut
disc.
the rope.
Break in case
Right.
of betrayal. I'm gonna break this fucking piece of glass. Just you watch.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Alina might not be very smart, but she can find people to do things for her. She's good at threatening people.
Knife emoji.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's the disc is there now, and your plan is in motion as far as you can tell. And you didn't get any sort of like indication that like he wasn't going to help, because you have offered him essentially exactly what he wants, which is the ability to get the fuck out of here.
Great.
Does
Cool.
anyone else have any scenes they'd like to explore before we wrap it up today?
I don't think so. Not really.
I have like a very small thing that is hopefully very small.
Okay.
Alina told Lynx that he looked the opposite of the way he was supposed to look for this job.
Okay.
So the next day he is going to come in wearing like a maxi skirt and a sweater. But everything
Okay.
about him is still the same. Like his mannerisms are the same. He's still wearing the sunglasses.
Well,
but
he looks like he fit in more now.
Yeah.
he's waiting for approval. As he like sits on his desk and bats his balls around.
He will get a nod from Alina.
Damien just sort of like walks past on the way to cleaning his mug from his 4th cup of mint tea. And just they'll sort of like nod and be like, yeah, that's a little bit less likely to get absolutely trashed. Your suit was nice, but like we tend to get a little bit messy in our line of work.
I'm always prepared to get messy.
That's good, because you probably will.
Chewing on,
Regrettably.
like, some meat. Like jerky.
Oh, I thought you meant raw meat.
No!
I was like, oh, another one of
Unhinged.
those.
No, me, yes. Lynx, no. He's chewing on some beef jerky, but it's like a large piece.
Okay.
One bite of that would just kill Alina. Just for result.
It's like this big, like, and he's just like gnawing on it.
Gnawing on it, crunch, crunch.
Great.
What a day.
Damien just sort of nods and walks back to their office. A little confused. But when is he not a little confused at work?
That is
Alina,
the
as far as you're aware, you don't get any indication that Harani knows what you've done. Like, there's no like creepy note waiting on your desk or whatever.
She wouldn't tell me if she knew.
There's no like weird ominous email.
I love
If I
me
get
a
an
weird
email,
ominous
I'll
email.
pretend I don't know how to open it.
Every time you get an email from Harani, you're just like, nah, I don't know how to do this. Like those like
I accidentally deleted it. Oh, it's in spam. I don't know.
I'm 90 million years old. I can't use a computer. She says she's using her iPad perfectly.
Harani like doesn't like send those like weekly update emails personally, obviously. They're like all signed like her name, but you know it's like the like PR person sending the emails, and then they just put her
Right.
name at the bottom.
Mhm.
But they do send like weekly like update emails of like, oh, there's an office potluck on the 5th floor for Susan's birthday.
I do not read them.
Neither does Damien.
Apia
Damien's
can't
like,
use
those
a
aren't
computer.
really for us. Yeah, if you want to invite Apia, you have to send an actual physical invitation. A piece of paper has to be brought to them.
And nobody wants to. Not after the incident.
The leftover cake just winds up in the archive fridge. We're not sure how. It just always does.
It's convenient.
But yeah, welcome to the Institute, Lynx. I hope you're excited for your first case.
Can I give a
Um,
shout out before we do our end of episode?
Yeah?
I like, this is my plea for you to join the Heroes Without Limits server and to go into that Haven of Horrors like channel chat, because Shrimp in the server just drew the most perfect photo of Lynx I've ever seen, and I think I want to get it tattooed or something. It's incredible.
Yeah. No, they
haven't
are
checked
very
it.
tall. They're just also that wide.
Oh, that's really good.
6 feet tall and 5 feet wide.
Server exclusive. You have to get into the Heroes Without Limits server to see this.
That's really good.
For some reason, I thought Lynx was spelled Links.
Lynx.
It's great. I love it.
This is great. I'm having a great time.
For other great reasons, you should join the Heroes Without Limits server. We are a gaming community by and for disabled, chronically ill, and neurodivergent gamers. You know, we are a space where we talk about disability advocacy in games and how to accurately represent disability in games, since a lot of the time standardized game settings tend to be ableist or not include people like us. So this is a space for disabled, chronically ill, and neurodivergent gamers to like be together and talk about what it's like to be disabled in this space. And that's really great. I say as an admin, Plugging my own zone. But yeah, thank you for joining us for this episode. I'm going to let my cast do their outros in reverse order. So we're going to go Percy first.
Hi, I'm Percy. You can find me on all the social medias at Liquid Rena. I do 100 million things because I'm neurodivergent and can't focus on just one, including the graphic design that you see all around us. I did that, me. So if you want to send me photos of my poor little meow meow that you've drawn, find me at Liquid Rena on everywhere. Thank you.
Ro.
Hey, Ro, you can find me on Twitter at RoViolich, where I very occasionally have just the best takes on RPGs, but nobody likes them because they're afraid of the truth. And you can also read a webcomic that my partner illustrates and I write, which is currently on hiatus, but at one point it will come back surely. You can follow it at Of Dwarfs and Men on Twitter, or you can just go to the website, which is rlefcomics.com, and you can read it. It has fantasy and dwarfs and magic and shit.
And last but not least, Kestrel.
Hi, I'm Kestrel. I use any pronouns other than she, her. I've been playing PbtA, who uses they, them, theirs pronouns. You can find me on my art Twitter at Azelfaphage Arts, which is spelled AZELFAFAGE, and then arts is spelled how you think it's spelled. I think that's all my things, because my other accounts you're gonna have to fight harder to find.
I'd like to thank I'd like to thank Nova at Gift Nova Gaming, who is our producer for this and keeps this running so that I don't have to. It's great because if I had to do the producing while running this game, it would be a train wreck. So I'd like to thank Nova for taking time out of her day to do that, especially because I think it's like 9 p.m. where she is right now, or later maybe. And I'd like to thank Heroes Without Limits for hosting this game on the channel. And I'd like to plug it again. If you want to be in a space for disabled gamers, like, we're here for you, and I'm happy to tell you all about it. You can also find me, just me, on Twitter as at Ilana Knight 13 and everywhere else as just Ilana Knight. I am a tabletop developer and sensitivity reader, as well as a competitive cosplayer. So you can see all of my work on my various social media accounts. And if by some weird reason you are a member of the Hugo Awards art voting committee, FIACon, the BIPOC speculative fiction convention that I'm on the admin staff for, is up for a Hugo Award. And I think voting closes like this week. So if by some weird reason you can vote for that so I can change my Twitter bio to Hugo nominated Airtable Wizard to Hugo winning Airtable Wizard. But yeah,
Airtable Wizard.
Hugo's Airtable Wizard. But yeah, we will see you probably the same time, the 21st. And then in the new year, we will be changing our time slot because a couple of our cast members have classes that they're taking. And so in the new year, we will have a new time slot for you, but that will be announced once we figure out a time that works for everyone. But we should still see you one last time this year on the 21st. Maybe I'll make it a spooky holiday special. We'll see. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you again soon.